What is up guys, it's that time of the month where we take a look at the newest patch, patch 0.29. Some big changes to heroes like Rampage, whose ultimate has taken a huge nerf, and Twin Blast, whose strength and mobility also got tweaked to bring him back into line. We'll take a look at all these changes and more throughout the video. The biggest change in this patch is to some of the more offensive cards like your lifesteal, physical and energy damage and attack speed. Previously, Staff of Adamant was 7.6 energy damage, but it is now 6.5 energy damage, which means every other damage card will also see a reduction by 1.1 energy damage, and this also applies to physical damage. Likewise, attack speed also got reduced. Whirling 1 previously offered 6.5 attack speed, but now only offers 5.5 attack speed, and so all other attack speed cards also saw a reduction of 1. The aim here is to encourage players to build something other than just pure damage and attack speed. Lifesteal was also a bit overpowered, so it's seen a huge reduction. Siphon Shard previously offered 4 points of lifesteal, but now only offers 2.5, so a 1.5 reduction, which I think means a lot of builds will have to be rethought. I kinda like these changes. I definitely want to see different builds, a lot more, rather than just everyone building the exact same item every single game. The next change was to casters, whom we can all agree were in a bad spot, so Epic have thankfully improved them in this patch. They've increased basic attack damage per level from 1 to 3, so every time you level up you'll now see an increase in attack damage by 3. But what you also have to remember is that the damage a ranger now puts out will be less. Because of the card changes, casters automatically got a bit of a buff. You might say their abilities will be affected, but I don't think a lot of casters ran a huge amount of damage anyways. It was a lot more of armor, health, cooldown reduction and mana, and casters don't traditionally use attack speed or a lifesteal, so a big buff in that regard. Rangers also got a slight nerf. Epic have said that Rangers were meant to really come online in the late game. That's their period of the game to dominate, so they've reduced the base HP from 400 to 380 and reduced the base HP per level from 100 to 85. This means that they can get punished a lot more for making risky plays in the early game, but if they manage to pull it off, they could get ahead in farm. I like this change because it rewards the Ranger for making risky moves to get more farm, but it also allows you to punish them if they don't manage to pull it off. This was really a 1-2 punch for Rangers. Not only did they see their damage, attack speed and lifesteal get nerfed, but they will also find themselves more vulnerable in the early stages of the game. Now there was also a huge amount of changes to cards. If you watch my video about cards coming soon to Paragon, you'll know quite a few of those already, but a lot of them have taken us by surprise. Shockwave has been reworked. Instead of knocking enemy heroes up, it slows all enemies within 800 units by 250 movement speed for 2 seconds. The cooldown has been reduced from 120 to 45 seconds, and the cost has been reduced from 7 to 6. Madspore Sash and Radiant Mantle now both deal energy damage. It does 15 damage plus your player level to enemy minions. The auras do not stack, nor do they work in sprint mode. The previous versions of these cards were actually extremely powerful, so I'm sad to see them go, but interested to see how much these cards actually get used. Blink Charm no longer has a 5-second cooldown after taking damage, but its cooldown has been increased from 90 seconds to 180 seconds. I like this change. I think it's definitely going to allow my Sparrow deck to flourish for sure. Shameless plug, you can check that video out right here. Traitor's Touch has had the passive requirement removed, so previously you had to fully upgrade the card before its passive became active. Well, now you don't. I also noticed that the passive has been reduced from 5% to 3% in the Paragon patch video, which makes this card pretty expensive for what it is. Lifesteal has also been reduced from 2 points to 1 point, so effectively you're now only getting 2.5 lifesteal. Tempest Pearl has seen its move speed buff duration reduced from 6 seconds to 3 seconds. Mending Bloom and Overflowing Gifts cooldown has been reduced from 120 seconds to 75 seconds, and the big change right here is to Beastmaster's Key. Beastmaster's Key has had its passive removed. Previously, it gave you 50% damage bonus to jungle minions, which was insane. If you didn't have this card as a jungler, and the enemy's team's jungler did have this card, you would see a huge difference in card points no matter how efficient you were with your farm. And that's not how a MOBA should work in my opinion, so I'm glad they made this change. The new passive increases basic attack damage to jungle minions by 15. Stalker's Key, which had the same passive as Beastmaster's Key, also had its passive removed. Its new passive restores 8 health from basic attacks on jungle minions, so this will allow you to farm the jungle longer than previously. I found I was using my health potions and having to back quite early into the game because jungle minions do hurt you, and without a health regen passive ability like Rampage, it can be difficult to farm safely, so I'm really liking this change, and the fact I already have a Stalker's Key is a bonus. Bounty Stalker has seen its cost increase from 4 to 6 points, but now only grants critical chance stacks if you hit an enemy hero. Bounty Stalker grants a stack of 3% crit chance every time you hit an enemy hero. The amount of max stacks has been increased from 4 to 10, which means you can reach 30% crit chance at full stacks. The buff duration has also been increased by 1 second, now lasts for 3 seconds rather than 2. I like this change because I felt the 12% crit chance you got was good, but for 2 points extra you can get up to 30% crit chance. That seems like a good trade-off. If you're a hero like Chimera, you'll have no trouble hitting max stacks quickly with your Q, and hitting an enemy hero should be relatively easy with your leap and ultimate. Drink the Spirit's cost has been reduced from 6 to 4, and its maxed passive requirement has been removed. I feel like this card will see a lot more play now, not only because it's cheaper, but because lifesteal has also been nerfed. Armorvore has seen its primary stat change from attack speed to energy penetration. Its passive, which grants mana per kill, has been increased from 1.5 to 7, and the max passive requirement has been removed. I think this could be a good card on Iggy. I find Iggy to be quite mana heavy, and he could benefit from the energy penetration. You don't even have to put any points into the card to benefit from the effect, and the extra mana from the passive will be a huge bonus for Iggy. Now let's move on to the heroes themselves. Not a lot of changes to the heroes, more bug fixes and polishing, but we'll just talk about the changes themselves. Grim's Deflector Shield now blocks oil from Iggy and Scorch. His GTFO, which is his ultimate, can now no longer target enemies that are not within a direct line of sight, so that's a huge nerf. But another one I like, and I think a lot of you will also like. I hate Grim's ultimate, it's a skillless one, and him coming into the jungle just to ult you because one of his allies has vision on you is bullshit. Grux's Smash and Grab has had its stun duration extended from 0.125 seconds to 0.75 seconds. Howitzer's R2000 missile no longer reduces cooldown if interrupted after firing. Chimera's Ambush has seen its cooldown reduced by 3 seconds at each level. Cull, his ultimate, has seen its damage increase considerably, doing 580 damage at its max level, but the ability card scaling of the ability has been reduced from 1.5 to 1. Murdoch's ultimate has been renamed to Long Arm of the Law because, well, he's a space cop. It now also correctly ignores energy armor of an enemy rather than the flat 100 energy armor. Rampage, the OP mofo, has had his health regen reduced from 100, 175, 250 to 50, 125 and 200 at the respective levels, so a reduction of 50 health regen per second at every level of his ultimate. His ultimate duration has also been reduced from 15 to 12 seconds. And finally, Twin Blast. His Nitro ability has been reduced to 4 seconds at all levels, and the cooldown has been reduced from 20 to 18 seconds. His Rocket Blast, which allows him to dash, has also been nerfed, making him travel a shorter distance. So really only 2 big hero changes to Rampage and Twin Blast, but the overall classes, casters and rangers also saw some changes which will definitely impact the game. I'm looking forward to this patch. I think it will help lean away from the triple carry plus Rampage meta that we see and open the game up to a more diverse pool of heroes. We also got 3 brand new skins. Sorry, no Gideon skin yet, but I'm sure it's coming. We got the Firewall grim.exe, which looks absolutely sick. It reminds me of the Hot Rod Howitzer with the flames, and I'm really liking this deep red colour. We also got an Executioner Murdoch skin, which makes him look like a real bounty hunter. I love his chest piece and the direction of this skin, although I do really still like the Snakebite skin. The final skin, and probably my favorite of the bunch, is the Howitzer hard case. Now I feel like this skin is a tier 2 skin, whereas the other skins are tier 1. So like the Snakebite Murdoch skin, which costs 1,000 coins, this is probably going to cost the same. But don't quote me on that. I really do like this skin. It's a whole new robot for Howitzer, and hopefully with the new changes he'll see a lot more playtime that makes this skin worth purchasing. This weekly card pack contains Rally the Troops, Stasis Gem and a Strike token. I recommend getting this pack because you can never have too many Strike tokens. That's pretty much it for the patch itself, but a lot of you want to hear my thoughts on the patch, and this is the part where I give you just that. To start, I really hated patch 28. I mentioned the triple carry plus rampage meta that was essential for winning was something that I hated a lot. I like playing carries, but I also like playing all the heroes, and I felt like if I picked a Gideon or Howitzer or Kalari, I was just dragging my team down by not sticking to the quote unquote meta. I know balance is always in flux, but I'm glad to see that casters got the attention they deserved from Epic. Rampage was just a game-breaking hero in my opinion. If you didn't have a Rampage on your team, the chances of you winning were slim, even if the enemy Rampage was just an average player. The card changes were also quite unexpected. When they were announced in the state of the game, I was surprised, but now I've had the chance to think about it, they sort of make sense. Rangers dominated pretty much every stage of the game, and casters never really had a place where I felt like they were a real threat. So these changes make sense, and I'm interested to see how much of an impact they actually have. The changes to the various cards are also quite interesting. I never really used a lot of the cards, but I can see myself using pretty much all the cards now. The change to Shockwave was a bit annoying. I feel like they could have increased the cost of the card if they felt it was OP, or created a new card to do what this new Shockwave does. I mean, they could have even called it Slow Wave. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on this patch. Are you liking the direction Paragon is heading? Are you going to purchase any of the skins? Or if you have any questions, leave a comment down below and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. Hit that thumbs up button if you liked the video, and I'll see you guys soon.